week of April or the first week of May. I don't know. So, yeah, just so that you kind of have that in mind. Yeah.
There's one thing I feel like is like the biggest struggle with your exams and things like that is just kind of more like, it's not really the material, but it's the time. Like I feel like we don't have a lot of time. So I think like,
Yeah, we really, yeah, we kind of don't. Which is why I kind of want to push it as much as I can, so I give you kids time to go over everything. Because we're really going to be done with the legislative branch maybe like the third week of April. So if I give it to you kids the first week of May, you'll have that week to be able to go over it.
but Miss, what would you think about like one class, or let's say like on a Monday we do the MCQ and on the Tuesday we do the free response.
Oh, you're talking about time here in class to actually complete that. Oh. Sure, why not?
Thanks.
That could also mean I could give you more questions.
As long as it's clear.
It doesn't take me the whole 3? Okay.
Like maybe like 10 more questions. Like instead of 30, it'll be like 40 or 45. Okay.
Just go out here.
I'm kidding. Alright, so, yeah.
On the movement day, what are we gonna do with
Probably finish up the assignment that we're gonna be working on tomorrow. Yeah. Because I do wanna finish the executive branch this week. I wanna be done with it. That way we come back and we just focus on the legislative branch. So. Alright. We're gonna be taking notes, kids. If you haven't already, please take out your notebooks and a highlighter. Put today's date.
No, 45. What did you do?
Alright. So these are going to be really kind of the last notes we're going to be taking for the presidency. Because the next notes we're going to really be talking about the branch as a whole, really. So, presidential roles. Now, the president is a very important job here in the U.S. It is one of the most important jobs because they represent the entire country. And they have different roles, and they're called like different hats that the president wears for different functions. So, the president is the only elected official here in the U.S. who represents, or should represent, everyone in the U.S., right? We vote for them, kind of, and they're supposed to, hopefully, represent and be a unifying leader for the whole nation. Again, hopefully. Now, what is very, very important about the presidency is that since they're representing the entire nation, they cannot just cater to their political party or to the people who support them, because they are representing everyone in the US. They are not just representing the select few who actually voted them into office. That is the whole point of a president, right? Like that they're able to represent everyone. And that has been a thing since Washington first became president, even though he didn't want to. Even though a lot of people, well actually no, that's not true. His was the only unanimous vote ever in American history. John Adams. Not everyone voted for John Adams, but John Adams still made sure to represent everyone-ish. I mean, it's not gonna be perfect, obviously. It just never is. But they do try. Some, more than others. Now, because of this, the president should have some, or really a lot, of leadership qualities, right? They should have led something successfully in the past. It could have been, if they were a general, like George Washington. It could have been a party. It could have been a business, not like a party, right? But like a Republican or Democratic or Whig party. It could have been a business. Anything, really. that they were the leader of it and they were able to actually follow through successfully and do something with it. We want someone who is going to be honoring the values of democracy, honoring the whole point that everyone has the right to vote, and we should not make it super hard for people to be able to vote, because that's kind of defeating the purpose of a democracy. That's what the president should be doing. Unfortunately, there are many things that occur throughout politics. One of those things is polarization. Does anyone know what a poll is? It is a stick, yes, but the other pole.
A vote. Oh,
Survey.
voting.
Earth, north, south.
North, oh,
Check. Contrast.
Line, up and down.
Someone said it.
North
Some-
Pole?
Yes, yeah, the North Pole and the South Pole, right? What are they on Earth?
On the opposite sides of each other.
Yes, they are. But also, what is, I guess, the energy that they have? What is the type of energy?
Cold.
I mean, it is cold. It is, I'm not gonna lie, it is cold in either poles. Like, you know,
Oh.
You got it.
Like rivals.
wow. I mean, that does apply here, so you're not wrong. You know,
Duality.
positive and negative.
positive and negative what?
Magnetic.
Yes, magnets. There's the magnetic forces in our Earth, right? So it all accumulates here in the north and here in the south because the Earth is kind of circular. It's kind of oblong, really, but whatever. So those two poles kind of separate each other and they kind of hold everything within Earth, right? That's the whole point of gravity. That's magnetism. That's physics. We have physics. We've learned physics. So in this particular, in politics, it is the polarization of specific parties. So just like the North and the South are very far apart from each other, unfortunately, sometimes that happens with parties. So we have the Democrats on this side. We have the Republicans on this side. This is how it was. Alright, so here we have Democrats, here we have Republicans, and this line down the middle is the line of compromise. Do we see how close they are to the line of compromise?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, so this means that they are not polarized. So they are okay with being like next to each other, and they're not gonna repel each other. Like if a positive and a positive, if they come together, what happens magnetically? Yeah, they repel each other, right? So here, we're meshing. We're not completely agreeing, but we are okay with compromising. Right now, however, I don't even have enough space in this board. But this is how we are, okay? They are incredibly polarized. There is no way that they're gonna compromise. I don't know if you kids know what's going on with TSA right now.
Check them the airports thing.
Yes. Lines now are like 4 hours long. It used to take, it was long, it was like an hour, but now it's like 4 to 5 hours, right? And the reason for that is because TSA is not getting paid. The government is partially shut down right now.
Didn't an accident just happen in?
Yes. Yeah, because they're also not getting paid. The people who make sure that the flights are, not gonna crash into each other. And why are they not getting paid? Because there was a funding bill that they refused to pass. So, this bill, the Democrats don't want to pass. Now, the Democrats don't wanna pass it because who do you think this bill is going to be giving billions of dollars to?
Israel.
I mean, we're already doing that.
Iran.
Then think like what's happening here in the country, people like protested against it.
Oh,
Military.
ICE.
ICE, yes. So they are giving billions of dollars to ICE if this bill passes. The Democrats were like, no, okay, we're not doing that. We're not going to be funding ICE anymore. But how about we compromise, right? One Democrat kind of moseyed their way over here and said, why don't we pass a bill that would fund TSA, but not ICE?
Miss, what's the correlation between TSA and?
They're both in Homeland Security.
Oh,
So they're in the same department. So they cut funding from Homeland Security so that no one is getting paid in Homeland Security right now. So the TSA is like, I'm not gonna go to work if I'm not gonna get paid, right? It's just ridiculous. Hence the very long lines in the airports. So the Democrats moseyed over and said, all right, let's pass a funding bill, but we only fund TSA. We do not fund ICE. What do you think the Republicans said?
Yeah.
Hell no. No, because this it works for them. Because then they can tell the people, do you see what the Democrats are doing? Do you see what they're doing? By not voting this bill, they are depriving you of shorter lines in TSA. That's what they're doing. And the Democrats are like, no, that's not what we're doing, okay? Polarization. There's no compromise, ever. Because of this, partisanship. This is when you are extremely loyal to a fault to your party. It's kind of like when you know that your friend did something wrong, you know that they did. So you're like, ooh, good job, man. You did that. That's what they do, but with their political party. They see the horrific things that their political party is doing, but because they are in that political party, they vote party lines. It doesn't matter if they don't agree with it, they have to vote party lines. That is what is kind of messing up Congress right now. And the president is supposed to not have this happen. The president is supposed to say, hey man, why don't we all work together? Now, I'm not gonna stand here and say, hey, the president is totally doing that. Do you think the president is doing that? Yeah, pretty bad. So, the roles of the president are immense, children. They have an immense amount of power. I mean, they are really the representatives of the US to the world, right? There's really no one else who the people outside of the US look for as a leader of the US than the president. That's kind of the whole point of a presidency. So there is a reason why there are some roles that are very intertwined with the other branches, like if they want to make treaties or anything like that, they have to go with Congress. However, there are others that are run parallel, right? They never touch. So they never go with the other branches. That is something that the president themselves are in charge of. Like hosting ambassadors, diplomats, going off to foreign countries, making treaties, stuff like that. And the decisions that we make in very big groups, like NATO and the United Nations. Now, these roles, because they carry such power, can either strengthen the ties of democracy and the alliances that the US has with foreign nations, or it can just straight up destroy them. One action can cause for an alliance that the US has had for hundreds of years to just go bye-bye. One action by one person. That's how powerful the president's position is. That's what they can do. They can either make the US very, very strong, or they can do the opposite. And it just continues, right? If the president keeps trucking along thinking that they're doing what is correct. I don't know if you kids know about the peace talks that
Yeah.
Trump has had with Iran? Do we know about this?
Is that true?
Iran has come out and said there has been no talks. We haven't been talking to anyone from the US. What is he trying to do?
Sure.
And he also said that Iran reached out to him.
Bargaining and persuasion.
That's what he's trying to do. No. He's straight up lying.
Oh.
Iran never reached out to him. He said that they did and that they wanted to be in peace again. Why is he doing this? Is
Get
this,
our minds off stuff.
I mean, yeah, but why is he trying to backtrack? Why is he backpedaling hard? Yes, the backlash was too much. He's trying to save face. I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't know. He kinda killed an entire family. Well, a lot of people, actually.
This for intertwined, is it the D or no? For intertwined.
Are buried and intertwined or no?
Very intertwined. What is intertwined? I mean, I know what it means, but like, that's it. Does that make it a D?
Oh, but intertwined is an adjective, intertwined is a verb.
Intertwined.
Nope, I'm correct.
Yes. I'm very
I just saw, yesterday I saw a video
Oh.
that CNN was like making fun of him, saying like if you're MAGA, you're gonna 100% approve Trump, had like 100% approval and 0% disapproval, only for MAGA. And there's a video of Trump like actually believing that, not understanding the joke. It's kind of funny.
What can we do, children?
Like,
No.
That is not.
Jesus. Now, the president, is supposed to be held accountable by Congress, the Justice Department, and of course us, the people. But once we kind of vote them into power, there's not much else we can do. Unless there's a midterm election, like there's coming up this year. Hence I don't know if you kids know about the Save Voter Act.
Oh, yeah, I heard that, like, you're not supposed to do it. Everybody
Yeah,
does
that act sucks. So it's trying to take away the right to vote of millions of people. You're gonna have to bring your birth certificate when you go and vote, which is ridiculous.
Sounds like you're wrong.
No, honestly, yes. So these people, are accountable because hopefully when we vote during the midterm elections, if they still have hours to vote, cross our fingers, cross our toes, the people in Congress will actually hold the president accountable to their actions, because that's, kind of their job. It's the Madisonian model and such. Now, the Justice Department, does anyone remember what branch is in charge of the Justice Department?
The Justice Department?
Yeah, is it the executive, is it the legislative, or is it the
Legislative.
judicial?
Executive.
It's the executive.
It was in the school.
The Justice Department is in charge of making sure that the president is following the rules and laws of the Constitution. But who is their boss?
President.
The president. Interesting.
That's so dumb.
That's
It's
interesting.
like, what even is that, bro? It's like,
Again, it was created by a president who just wanted to hold other presidents accountable. But then, one particular president said, you know what, I really don't wanna get caught when I do something illegal, so I'm just gonna surround myself with lawyers. Who was this president? Does anyone remember? He did,
Bill Clinton?
I mean, he definitely benefited from lawyers. But this dude started it, cause there were already lawyers, but he had like 26 of them.
George?
There was a scandal.
Oh, Richard Nixon.
Yes. Nixon was the one who created the lawyers that kind of make sure that if the president does something illegal, no, he didn't. It all goes away, right?
Wait.
Magically.
That's ironic, like how you have so many lawyers prevent you from like getting in trouble for stuff you do, and then you still get caught doing something bad.
Because they snitched. They turned against him. Because in his era, no one liked Nixon, so the Justice Department actually did their job. But it depends. So, their job is to uphold the Constitution and the laws that have been passed. That is their duty. Their main duty. those are all the notes we're gonna be doing, children. So group leaders, please don't get with their puppies. Do you know how competitive it is? I know how competitive it is. I'm pretty sure it's damn competitive.
3 out of 5. The way you teach, like, how similar is it to college? Because I'm kind of scared for the classes, like how much harder they are.
It depends, because usually the first 2 years, you're focusing on your GEs, right? Kids, that is my suggestion when you get to university. I know that you want to start on your major, which is all fine and dandy, but you do not want to be a senior in a room full of freshies taking a GE class, okay? Do not do that. Take your GE classes, which are the general ed classes, the first 2 years. Once you're done with your GEs, that's when you're able to continue on to your major. Now, for the GEs, usually it's depending on how big your school is, they're lecture halls. So it's like 100 to 200 people in a lecture hall, right? And so everyone has out their laptop, notebook, whatever you want to take. The professor comes in, and it really depends on the professor. Some do have slides like I do, others just straight up just talk.
That's crazy.
And they talk for 50 minutes, and then they're like, all right, there's a midterm next week, and then they just walk out. Then you have your discussion or your labs, depending on what major you're going to be in. For your labs, you're going to go deeper into whatever it is that you're focusing on, and you're actually gonna do labs. For your discussion, this is when you're going to be focusing on whatever readings you did or whatever readings you have to do for the class. Usually this is where you're gonna be taking the quizzes, and you're going to be graded on your participation. Most of the exams for GEs are done in lecture halls, and I don't know how they do it now, but they used to give us blue books, which you yourself had to purchase yourself. But they're kind of like, well, they're blue books. They're little notebooks, and you turn that in, and it's all right. But again, it depends on your professor. So once you get to your majors, that's when the classes become smaller, most of the time. And it is when those classes become smaller that the professor is most likely to do something like this. But they don't really have activities a lot of the times. It's really more just read all of this, or answer all of these questions. And then when we come back next time, we're gonna talk about it. And if you don't know what you're talking about, you should have come to office hours. Go to office hours, children. Tutoring is available in all universities. So if you feel like you're gonna struggle, or if you are struggling, do not procrastinate. I'm telling you right now, don't do that. Go to tutoring. It is totally fine to ask for help. It is so much worse for you to be failing a class because you didn't go to tutoring because you felt embarrassed, which is so stupid. Go to tutoring. Ask for help. Go to the office hours. Also, the discussions or the labs, it's usually the TAs who are in charge of those. Very rarely the professor, it's usually the TAs. Ask the TAs. Okay, they're the ones who are working with the professor, so just ask the TAs for help. Some of them are nice, some of them are not. Just, don't be afraid to advocate for yourselves.
What was the hardest class in college?
Probably the one where I had to do my own research and present my research to my professors and my class.
What was that class called?
It's the independent study. It's really where it's kind of like this, no, it's not. No, it's not. I was gonna say it's like a senior defense. But you do, like, if you don't pass that class, you don't graduate.
For everybody? It's mandatory? Like, no matter what your major is?
No, you have to prove that you actually did something. I don't know if they still do this, but UCLA did it, and I had to do it twice, because I got 2 majors.
Not too easy.
TAs are students that help the professor, right?
TAs are master's students. So they're either getting their master's or their doctorate, and they're there to help the professor out. So make friends with your TAs, children, because they're probably gonna be the ones who are grading your quizzes and your exams.
Goodness, how much harder is college and high school? Like so much harder, like crazy, like.
Compared to where we are now or no.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how you kids are with your other classes.
Or in this class,
Oh, this class?
like.
This
the
is easy.
workload.
Most, wait. Well, it's easy because I like, you know, I give you kids a lot of time, I give you kids activities.
A lot of time.
Again, it depends on your major, but most of the time, the professors are gonna expect you to just know anything that they're talking about in class, because you should have read about it beforehand. They're gonna give you, and I hated when they like made it online, and it wasn't a textbook, because I hated reading stuff online. But they're gonna give you scientific studies, they're gonna give you articles, they're gonna give you journals, they're gonna give you academic research papers that you're gonna have to read. And you're gonna have to know them, because they're gonna be quizzing you on this, they're gonna have exams on this, and again, it depends on your major. I majored in English and history, so mine was just a bunch of reading, and a bunch of annotations, a bunch of essays, a whole bunch of FRQs, argumentative essays, expository essays, a lot of discussions, not Socratic seminars. This is like, you have to go in front of the class and explain your research to the professor, and hopefully you pass. But if it's math, which is what my friend did, it's just quizzes upon quizzes upon quizzes upon quizzes. Not the final, and a whole bunch of labs. So